Good morning. I'm Doug Alexander, the Public Information Officer for the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company. And today we're here to go over just a few preparedness tips that everyone can take to use in their home. Preparedness for emergencies and unusual events is important to everyone. Whether it's preparing for a summer thunderstorm, a winter blizzard, or preparing for an unwanted fire or an injury at home, we must have the needed materials to deal with the situation until help or assistance can arrive. The most basic preparations can mean the difference between an unfortunate inconvenience or catastrophe. Today we'll offer some tips on preparing for and preventing fires and injuries around the home. The number one priority for safety from fire in the home is working smoke alarms. You should have a smoke alarm on each level of the home as well as in each and every bedroom. The second important thing that we'd like to emphasize on behalf of our first responders and emergency services personnel is being able to find the location. And this is something we can prepare for well ahead of time. Posting your house number in large contrasting numbers is very beneficial for the fire and EMS personnel to find your location very quickly. It's also important for people like the FedEx and UPS deliveries or anybody else that's bringing a delivery to your home. It's easy to find your home if your numbers are posted large enough, close enough to the street that they can be seen, and in contrasting numbers so that they can be easily read even at nighttime. We ask that everybody prepare and practice a home fire escape plan. Why is this important? Well, we never know when a fire is going to crop up or where in the home it may occur. So we want to be sure that we have a fire escape plan ready and have practiced it with all the members of the family that are in the home. Take a few minutes, sketch out your home, and design 2 escape routes from every area. Your primary escape route obviously is going to be the door from that room into the hallway or to the foyer or to the outside. And a second may be out a window. If it's a second-story window, you want to be sure that you have a ladder that you can throw down, a chain ladder of some sort, or that you have a way out onto the roof that you can get away until someone can bring a ladder around to get you off of that roof. Either way, you need to have 2 ways out of every area in the home. Next, we're going to go into preparing our home to prevent injuries or to prepare for injury incidents. One of the quick and easy things you can do in your home is make sure that all the handrails on your stairs, be they inside or outside, are in good repair and tight. The last thing you want is somebody to lean on a handrail and have it give away and have them fall down the steps. This is something that can be done very quick, very easily, and it can be checked often. Keep your stairs and doorways inside of the house clear to allow quick exit in case of emergency or to allow quick access by emergency service providers. And this is very simple as well. You don't stack things on the steps or in front of the doors. You keep at least a 2 or 3 foot wide aisle from the door into the house so that we don't have trouble bringing equipment into the house to handle any injury emergency. Be sure that all the rugs in your home are the non-slip type. Many home injuries occur when we walk onto rugs that aren't secured to the floor. They slip and we fall, oftentimes breaking arms, hips, things of that nature. So make sure that if you have any throw rugs down in the house that they're fastened to the floor or they have the non-skid surface so they will not slip when somebody, particularly our senior citizens, hit these rugs and begin to slide. Keep all of your prescription medications out of the reach of children. This is a pretty common sense thing and something very easy to do. We simply keep them up on a shelf where they can't be reached by small children. And it's a good idea to keep your medications labeled so that you know exactly what they are, so you don't make a mistake when you're setting up your prescriptions to be taken on a daily basis. You may want to buy a pill box so that you can sort them out when you have time and you're not rushed. That way you have all your pills prepared for a day. Also, a pill container like this can be kept on hand that you can grab up in an emergency in case of an evacuation of some sort so that you'll have a week's worth of medication available and ready to go. Also, it's beneficial to have a ready list of the medications that you take or for each family member in the home that they may take, so that when the medic personnel or first responders arrive to assist on an injury incident, you can hand them this list and they know exactly what medications this particular patient may be taking. It becomes very important in the cases of diabetics and unconscious people when we can't talk to them and get an understanding of what medications they may be taking. You know, perhaps these medications may make a difference in what can be provided for them by the emergency services personnel. Certainly you wish to consider an emergency alert bracelet or necklace for your senior citizens or handicapped persons. If they should fall and not be found for hours, this could be very detrimental to their health. Certainly if someone falls and can't get up, we want to be able to get emergency assistance to them as quickly as possible. Have your home prepared for bad weathers or storms. Keep valuables or important papers in a safe box ready for quick evacuation should evacuation need arise. A safe box such as this can be kept on hand with preloaded items that you may need in case of an evacuation. Such things as important documents, maybe valuable jewelry, something like that. But this thing should be kept ready at all times so that you can grab it and go in case of an evacuation order. You want to have a first aid kit stocked and on hand at all times. Home first aid kits are available in any drugstore, Walmart, things of that nature. And these are very important to have around. You have the very basics of first aid supplies on hand and ready to go at all times. Such things as band-aids, triangular bandage, injury dressings, things of this nature are all contained in these kits and can become very valuable in case of any emergency situation where an injury has occurred in the home. Another item that you want to keep on hand at all times for storm-related incidents, whether it be a winter blizzard or a summer thunderstorm, is water. You want to make sure you have a 3-day supply of drinking water on hand at all times. Whether you have it stored in a closet or out of the way somewhere with your storm emergency kit, make sure you have available 3 days of drinking water for each person in the household. This is very important as water is the prime thing you're going to need just to survive. Another item that you want to make sure that you have on hand is a flashlight. Certainly it's a whole lot easier to see what's going on when you got a flashlight and it's pitch dark if the power has gone out. You want to keep a flashlight, maybe 2 flashlights on hand, and have spare batteries on hand for them. Certainly a flashlight is no good if the batteries aren't fully charged and prepared to go. Have a flashlight and spare batteries on hand. Make sure that you have a battery-powered radio on hand, particularly in storm situations. That way you can find out if evacuation orders have been given, if the storm is going to continue, how long it may continue, and the extent of damages that may be around you. Certainly an informed person can make decisions much quicker and much better than one that is uninformed. One of the big problems during the storms in this area, whether it be winter or summer storms, is trees. Obviously, if you have trees around your house that are in bad shape, they may have large dead branches, or the trees themselves may be damaged. You want to make sure that these trees are trimmed or removed so that we don't have problems with the tree blowing into your house, or perhaps limbs dropping off or the tree falling over and taking down power lines. Power lines are susceptible to any storm, and certainly if there's any way you can limit the possibility of the wires going down at your home, you want to take that into account. Make sure you have your vehicles filled with fuel. If you have time to prepare before a storm, you want to make sure you have fuel on hand for your vehicles. If you have emergency generators, backup generators, you want to make sure that the fuel supply is kept at a reasonable level on those. You certainly don't want to be sitting with your vehicles out of fuel or your generator out of fuel when you may be needing it. One thing we've cautioned against, though, is if you store this fuel, make sure it's stored away from the home and not within the home. The fumes from the gasoline or diesel fuel or the mere presence in case of another emergency may make this something that you don't want to deal with in an emergency situation. So keep the gasoline or diesel fuel stored away from the home. Prepare an emergency shelter in your home, be it a windowless room somewhere in the middle of the house or preferably a basement area. And when the storm is approaching, go to that area and stay there until the storm has passed. Obviously, you want to keep your emergency supplies available in this room. Such things as a flashlight and the battery radio and the water in your shelter area will prove out to be make your stay in that shelter much more tenable, much more easier to deal with. So try to have those items in your shelter when you're preparing for a storm. And last but not least, keep your cell phone charged. Again, many times the overhead wires are susceptible to trees and wind and things of this nature. So if you have your cell phone fully charged and prepared to go, you will at least be able to stay in touch with the outside world and let somebody know where you are and that you're safe or that you need help. So cell phones are very important. Make sure you have them charged and ready to go before a storm situation. These are just a few tips that we're offering today. September is National Preparedness Month. We're hoping that some of these tips you'll take advantage of and apply them in your home situation. It only takes a few minutes to prepare ahead of time, but it may take many hours, days, maybe weeks to deal with some of the consequences afterwards if we're not prepared.